Testing. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everyone. How are you feeling this morning? Oh, I think you might need to bring me down a little bit in the monitors. Thank you so much. All right, so if you can hear me, clap one time. If you can hear me, clap 2 times, 3 times. Come on, 1 time. We are at the STEAM Career Forum, and guess what? We're going to be talking about mathematics today. We're going to be talking about engineering. We're going to be talking about science and art and all these lovely things. But before we go any further, I want to welcome you this morning to the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information STEM Career Forum. Can I get a woo-woo? Come on, let's put some suppletion in that this morning. Can I get a woot-woot? All right, I love it. So before we go any further, I'm going to ask right now Miss Cyan Grizel, who will be opening in prayer this morning. So could we just stand this morning? Because this morning is going to be very, very exciting, but we want to definitely invite the presence of the Lord, all right? So, Cyan, it's over to you.
Let's bow our heads. Father God, as we come to you today, as we gather here today, I pray that nothing but a fruitful, safe discussion will take here. I pray that we'll all be safe while discussing and everything will run smoothly and according to plan. I pray that you cover us here as we are here and that nothing bad, nothing terrible might happen, and that we'll all leave this space learning something new and having more ideas for the futures of Jamaica's youngsters related to the STEAM category. In the name of Jesus, I pray, amen.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Cyan. Now, can anybody quickly tell me real quick, what does the S stand for in the word STEAM? Anybody? I might have a little prize. Come up, run up quickly. Jump up, man. Yeah, man, come. So, and if you're in YouTube land or Facebook land, type it in the chat, man. Let us see what your definition is. Tell me. I can't see you behind the mask. You have to run up, man, and let us know. Come on, right beside me. All right. Let's give it up. All right. What's your name?
Akil Tucker.
Akil, what does the S stand for?
All right, so the S in STEAM stands for science.
You know what the E stands for?
Engineering.
The A.
The A.
The A, ask for some help. I wrote that side. Anybody know what the A stands for? All right.
I think it's agriculture.
Come on, one of the alpha ladies, just run up here real quick. Let's give her a round of applause. All right, I love it. So far, he gave me 2. You need to tell me the other 2. What does the A and the M stand for?
Arts and mathematics.
Is she correct? Sure? Positive? All right, let's give them a round of applause. All right, so you see, before the session ends, lady and gent, please ensure to come on by and we'll have a little prize for you, okay? All right. So I want to formally invite and to welcome everybody to the STEAM Career Forum. Now, today is going to be pretty exciting. We're going to be having some nice displays going on today. We do have some schools in the building. We do have some dignitaries in the building. We have an exciting panel discussion, and so today's session, naturally, it's the STEM Career Forum. That's the science, technology, engineering, and math Career Forum, all right? So I want to pick up everybody that's here this morning, and if you are joining us in YouTube land, please type the name of your school that you're repping this morning. And so without further ado, let me introduce myself. I am Ruth Lawrence, and I am one of your hosts this morning. With me, I have Mr. Matthew Ferguson, who is my co-host. You'll be hearing a little bit more from him a little later. But before we go any further at this time, I want to invite the lady behind the vision. Can somebody say vision? Come on, turn it up a little bit, man. Vision. The lady behind the vision, Dr. Tamika Benjamin. Now, this lady is the epitome of a hard worker. Somebody say a hard worker. Yeah, man. And so she is the National Mathematics Coordinator, and she is the person who really helps to spearhead this week today. And so I'm going to welcome her this morning to bring greetings on behalf of the Ministry of Education and Youth. Let's give her a round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. So much energy in the room. Welcome, welcome. So our minister is on the way, and I just want to acknowledge our Acting Chief Education Officer, Dr. Kassan Troop, our panelists for this morning, Ms. Naomi Benjamin, Quality Assurance Engineer, Ms. Savannah Grant, Data Analyst, let me put on the glasses, and Mr. Matthew Stone, AI Researcher, students, teachers, and of course, my very energetic hosts and moderator for this morning, Matthew and Ruth. Welcome, everyone. So I'm pleased to welcome you to this morning's National STEM Career Forum here at UWI's Assembly Hall. This is one of the highlights of a series of activities the ministry has hosted for National Mathematics Week 2022. And the main aim is really to heighten awareness of our young people who sometimes don't know all of the opportunities that exist for them as it relates to using mathematics, or all of the opportunities that are actually emerging within the Jamaican labor market for persons who are in math and science or have an interest in math and science. We've gone way beyond just going to teach, or way beyond going into medicine and even engineering. And even the field of engineering has broadened with all the trends in technology. So we wanted to ensure that our young people knew what was available to them and would be able to take hold of these vast opportunities. I hope you notice that our panelists are not, all of them, I think I can safely say, are under 30 years old. So they're in your bracket, and we hope that you can be inspired by the stories and the experiences that they will have to tell. So the ministry continues to be committed to ensuring that every single Jamaican student has a solid foundation in math and science and is able, therefore, to take hold of the range of opportunities that are being created, not just locally, but internationally, right? Some of these jobs, they may tell you that they can do them for companies overseas while still working in Jamaica. And we believe these are opportunities that you can take hold of. So as you join us this morning, we want to welcome you. We welcome and thank the persons from the Jamaica College Robotics Club, from NCU, and from Halls of Learning, who will also be exhibiting another side of STEM education. And we trust that all of us, as we participate, even if you don't learn something for yourself, that you will learn something to encourage another young person. So all the best, and have a wonderful time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Benjamin. Come on, let's give her a rousing round of applause, no? Yeah, man, I love it. So I have a little trivia this morning. You see, because we're at a STEM Career Forum, I have a little math question. You can't use your phone. You have to use your brain. So let me see whose brain is working and firing away this morning. I need for you to add this morning 89 plus 15. The first person to jump up and tell me the answer. Yes, come. Come, run. Cheyenne, hold on. Yeah, man, I see someone trying to take out the phone, don't it? What's the answer? Lord of mercy. She said 104. Is she correct? Is she correct? Are you sure? You sure it's not 102? Positive is 104. All right. Give it up for her. All right, if you get 3 more right, you'll get a top prize. So go again. Come now. Can I get 2 more persons, please, to join her up here? We're going to have a math off. Yes, let's try that. So let's get 2 more persons. Come. We'll have a top prize. The JC man is coming. Yes, I love it. So hold on. I see Alpha and I see JC. Want to Greater Portmore? That's in the yeah. Listen, man. It's about to get real up in here. All right. So now, let me back up my calculator. Praise God. Hallelujah. Are we ready? Are you ready? All right. So no calculator now. Let's see which school is the top school. Is it Alpha? Is it Greater Portmore? Is it Jamaica College? All right. I love it. So let me get out my calculator. Yes. Okay. So, guess for me this figure. Now, this is going to be a little rough one. Take away 7,000. The overall figure is 7,625 plus 679. So 7,625 plus 679. Go. Enough for work for the prize, man. All right, hold on. Tell me now. Okay, so 8,264, is that correct? Is that correct? No. Come now, Cheyenne. Come, Cheyenne, yes. 8,314. All right. Is that your final answer? All right. 8,300. No, sir. Whoa. 8,304. All right. Is that your final answer? All right. Yes.
8,401.
Lord of mercy. 8,401. Who do you think got the answer? Who do you think got the answer? Who do you think got the answer? Okay, so the correct answer is 8,304, and the winner is Miss Alpha. Come on, let's give it up. Hold on, let me back my calculator, please, on tongues. Okay, so we're going to do some subtraction. Is that okay? I'll make it easy this time, all right? Hold on. Okay, step there. I don't want to look in my glasses. So the next math question is, take away 263 from 658. So 658 minus 263. Go. 658 minus 263. Go. Step up in. Yes. All right. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. What's the answer? 357. All right, is that your final answer? All right, next. None? All right, Savannah. God have mercy. 357. The answer is actually 395. I'm going to give you a really, really easy one. 500, take away 350 from 500. Yes? 150. All right, so Alpha got another mark. The last question is going to be now a multiplication. I could work it up now. I work it up. Hold on. So 1,200 by 5. Yes. 6,000. All right. What's the answer, team? Come, audience, tell me what's the answer. 6,000? Una sure? Una sure on a tree? Positive. All right. The answer is indeed 6,000. Let's give these brilliant young people, and I'm just going to ask the mathematics team to ensure that they get a lovely prize at the end of the forum. So big up on yourself. Congratulations. Listen, you see math? The Lord is working on me, okay? So I have to say big up to all of you, all right? So thank you, lady and gent. Thank you so much for participating. Yes, you may exit this stage. Thank you so much. All righty. So now, guys, earlier today, I made mention of what the word STEM means. Can we just do it in a nice roll call, please? What does the S stand for? S. T. T. E. M. All right, so let's do a little rhythm. 1, 2, 3, and S. E. M. Yeah, man, I know. No catch on, don't it? So let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, and S. T. E. M. No, you have to say mathematics. Mathematics. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, and S. D. E. And M. All right, I love it. Give yourselves a rousing round of applause. All right, big up yourself. So right now we have in the house with us our Honorable Minister of Education, the Honorable Favour Williams, who will be bringing greetings this morning on behalf of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. So, Minister Williams, I know you just came, but it's over to you. We want to hear from you. So, Minister, you're going to be bringing greetings at this time. Come on, let's put our hands together for Minister Favour Williams.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Why aren't all the chairs filled? Isn't this the most important event right now? All right, we hope others will join us. So let me begin by acknowledging, and I know that there are many on our virtual platform as well, so let me acknowledge Mrs. Maureen Dwyer, our Permanent Secretary Acting at the Ministry of Education and Youth, Dr. Kassan Troop, our Chief Education Officer Acting, Dr. Tamika Benjamin, who is here in the flesh with you this morning, our National Mathematics Coordinator, Ms. Savannah Grant, our Data Analyst, Ms. Naomi Benjamin, Quality Assurance Engineer, Mr. Matthew Stone, AI Researcher. Put up your hands if you know what AI stands for. What? Yes. Them bright, not true? Yes. Thank you for the invitation to participate in this very important forum. I am excited to join in today's discussion as we explore STEM education in Jamaica and how this can better prepare our students for current and new careers. As you know, the importance of education is that it engages and nurtures students' interests in science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics, and that this is extremely important for economic growth of our country. This has been the focal point of many research efforts because it is perceived as essential to a country's ability to respond to the global environment, produce a competent 21st century workforce, and continue to create innovations that contribute to the quality of life. The Ministry of Education and Youth has identified increasing tertiary STEM enrollment as a crucial priority for our development. This position recognizes the urgent need to increase the level of innovation and critical thinking required for future careers and economic advancement in Jamaica. At the same time, we recognize the importance of investing in liberal arts education, given the interdependence on the input of the creative imagination with science-based skills. Clearly, to meet any one part of or all of the aims and objectives of STEAM education, there must be educated and trainable people who can adapt to the changing environment and its requirements. The education system is therefore indispensable in developing a STEAM learning culture. Educational institutions must lay the groundwork for the effective integration of STEAM as we move to provide opportunities for the professional development of our citizens and to increase productivity. If we were to focus a little on the rapid developments in information communication technology, ICT, and its impact on how we live, entertain ourselves, and do business, we recognize that greater focus on this area is indispensable to preparing our students to participate in today's and future educational and economic development. Indeed, ICT is not just a subject to be taught and learned, but a tool to enhance teaching and learning. As researchers in several countries have pointed out, ICT-enhanced learning can provide new opportunities to explore high-level cognitive activities such as creativity, problem-solving, and teamwork, while providing teachers with the means to take into account individual needs of students, especially while using web-based technology. And I'm sure you had a lot of experience with that during the pandemic, and that's one of the things that will remain with us. One of the good things coming out of that period is the rapid adoption, especially in the education sector, of the use of technology. And technology will remain a permanent and important component of education. So new ICT facilities allow students and teachers to control, manipulate, and contribute information to learning and teaching environments as interactive books and journals are being made available via the internet. The use of new multimedia technologies and internet are helping to improve the quality of teaching and learning-related activities. It gives opportunities to individuals who might wish to continue work and learning at his or her own pace, regardless of location, as we have had to do amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. Our ministry recently launched a Coding in Schools program, and it is being embraced with a great enthusiasm, and we want to see this sustained as we prepare you, our students, to take your places in the global community. At the same time, we know that we must address basic literacy skills. Efforts at pushing STEAM learning will continue to be undermined if secondary level students are still struggling with reading comprehension. To address this, we have introduced the specialist subject teacher model at the primary school level, where we're seeking to strengthen the teaching and learning of English language and mathematics. Also, under the new standards curriculum for the grades 1 to 9 levels, which seeks to improve the general academic performance, attitude, and behavior of students, emphasis is being placed on project-based and problem-solving learning with science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, technology, art, integrated at all levels. So with reference to today's focus, we can say the Ministry of Education and Youth is already implementing, as part of its strategic priorities, the broad embrace of STEAM education, not just as discrete subjects to be taught, but to be integrated at all levels. We also recognize that if we are to provide our young people with world-class STEAM education, then of course our teachers must have access to high-quality training and professional development programs and resources. Assessments that have been done by the Ministry of Education and Youth reveal that many primary level students are performing below acceptable standards in mathematics and science. With the learning loss resulting from the closure of schools amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, we have a lot of catching up to do. We're also looking at additional activities aimed at developing and nurturing STEM talent and interests through immersion in STEM experiences at the primary level to strengthen the efforts already being made. And if we are to increase STEM enrollment at the tertiary level, we have to be deliberate in cultivating STEM talent and interest at an early stage. Today's panelists will share exciting new developments in their particular area of focus. So I implore you to listen carefully, listen well, and then let us take the necessary steps to make all of our dreams a reality. We want all of you to excel in whatever you're doing in your various fields, because we know that's going to contribute not only to your personal benefit, but to the benefit of your families, of your communities, and of Jamaica as a whole, Jamaica, land we love. So thank you so much, and I hope that when you get to the end of today, you will look back and you will conclude that it was good for you to be here based on all the knowledge, information that you would have received. So thank you, and please make the best of today. Thank you so much.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister Favour Williams from the Ministry of Education and Youth. And I must say that Minister Williams is indeed what I would say the epitome of a dedicated worker. I mean, the Ministry of Education has done a lot as it relates to reinforcing and bolstering the efforts with regards to the STEM efforts within schools. So let's just give the Minister and the Ministry of Education and Youth a rousing round of applause for the hard work that they have put in thus far. And so right now, there are some booths. So if you look to my left, there are some booths that are here. And I know that the minister is very eager to tour those booths right now. They are the Halls of Learning, the Jamaica College Robotics Club, and the Northern Caribbean booth. So we're going to be going by real quick just to see what they have to offer today. And I want you to turn your attention to my left, your right at this time. So I guess I'll lead the way to ensure that our minister gets the opportunity to tour the booth, respectively. And thereafter, we will be having our interview or panel discussions with our esteemed panelists. So right now, let's turn your attention to my right, your left. All right, so we have some awesome gentlemen here this morning, and I want to ask them just to tell us a little bit about what you're doing today. But I know the minister is coming, so I want to also give her the opportunity to share, for you to share with her what it is that the Robotics Club of Jamaica College, what is it that you really do? All right, so firstly, who's the captain? All right, what's your name? Gavin Williams? Gavril Williams. Ah, Minister, I think there might be some relations. All right, so Gavril, I want for you just to let us know what sparked your interest in becoming a part of the Jamaica College Robotics Club? Okay, hold a moment.
So initially it was because I love to make stuff. I love to create a lot of things, and this was a place where I could actually just let my creativity run wild. And after a while, I was able to also learn a really good amount of skills from this.
All right, awesome. So I'm going to allow the minister if she has any questions for you. Just to pose them.
Okay. It's on. Good morning.
Good morning.
I am very interested in what I am looking at. You want to describe what it is?
Well, right here we have two robots. This is from our team 6899, and this is from our team 3981.
Okay. And are they supposed to be doing anything at this moment?
For now, we can make them move or something. Yeah. Up, down. You can drive. It's fine, you can drive. I guess we can still go.
Please go ahead.
Morning, Miss.
Good morning.
My name is OJ James. I'm a part of Team 6899.
Okay.
Currently, we are giving an example of what we do in our competitions that we enter.
Okay.
So the goal
Looks like it's got a block perfectly. All right. Yeah.
So final question from us. I'd like for you to tell us a little bit in terms of how do you see this working? Thank you. How do you see this helping to improve a particular, is there any particular industry you think this technology
There
could...
is one specific
There
industry.
is? Okay.
In like more industrial industries such as building construction, things involving house construction, mechanical work. Instruments like this, which are unmanned and safely away from it, it is both safer and more life-sustaining than having somebody in there, an accident happen, something happens, and parents and things happen. So we as a group want to build robots that are not just cool, functional, but are also helping actual industries look and say, this is a possibility, we could do this, we could try to instrument something like this, and allow our ideas to take part in Jamaica's influence and Jamaica's growth itself.
And my final question to you is for all those who are looking on and are interested in starting, where would you suggest they start?
So,
what articles, what would you suggest they begin to read first in order to begin this journey?
If you want to start robotics, the best place I would say to start is to just look around, see what you love, and see if it can be integrated into robotics in itself. We have several different steps. You're good at mathematics, you can take a step into programming. For me, I was a part of the arts and I joined because I loved 3D modeling, and so I joined the computer-aided design department, and we built it in a 3D scope. There is space for everybody in robotics. No matter how skilled you are, growth is there, growth is present, and no matter how old you are, no matter how young you are, there is always one simple area which you can step into robotics and help Jamaica grow.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jamaica College.
Thank you. Engineering department.
How many of you will be going to UWI's engineering department? All hands up, please. All right. Thank you again. Good job. Yes.
Thank you. Okay, awesome. And the next stop, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Minister, in the center. All right, so we are going to be doing a little photo op with the team from the Jamaica College Robotics Club. All right, we're just looking at the controls. I think they want Minister to take the controls. Minister Williams, go ahead. All right, let's see Minister Williams' skills right now. So they're explaining the technicalities. Wow, yes, I see some movement, Minister. All right, it's turning around. Lovely. Awesome. Yes. All right. Almost there, Minister. Almost there. Ah. Lock and load. Ah, excellent. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Yes. All right. All right. Nice. Hold it. Yes. Love it. Listen. Listen. This is exciting. Minister, high five. Virtual one. All right, so thank you so much, gents, from the Jamaica College Robotics Club. Thank you, Minister Williams and team, for sharing with us. We're going to be heading over real quick to the halls of learning right now, just to find out a little bit about what they have to offer this morning. All right. Right. And the Northern Caribbean University will be here in a few, but of course we're going to be looking at the halls of learning for them to share with us real quick. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
So at Halls of Learning, we're an educational services company with a focus on robotics and coding. Here we have 4 robot demos set up, starting with our Ferris wheel, which will spin and light up. All right. Continuing from there, we have Kiki, which is a robot that has a color sensor. So depending on what colors the robot will see, we'll play different sounds. Push the left button. All right, kind of quiet, but now I'm going to ask for some minister participation.
Okay.
If you could do me a favor and push the big button on this robot to set it off. So it starts by smiling.
What else do I do? Oh.
Hold on, it should be just one press. Ready? Back. Starts with a smile,
Okay.
and then off we go.
So this appears that you've used simple Legos to build this.
Yes,
So the material that you're using is, easily accessible, right?
yeah, very easy to get started. All these robots are Lego based. We have a robotics league starting in July, and that will culminate with a Jamaica versus USA robotics tournament. Teachers are free to register their schools to join the Robotics League using our challenges.hallsoflearning.com website. And additionally, for the coders out there, we have the Oxford University Computing Challenge, which is free to enter starting April 29th.
Okay, wonderful. So schools, you have enough time. You have until April 29 to register. These look like fun. Lots of information here that I'm sure you'll be sending out. It's on your website as well.
Of course.
That our schools can participate in, and we're encouraging that.
We just wrapped our kangaroo math tournament, keeping with the STEM theme. We had 1,200 students, 250,000 active minutes of Jamaican students doing math in an international competition available in over 60 countries.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
Okay, I'd love to see that.
You'd love to see
the
a demo?
results of that.
Oh yeah, so our tournament has 2 stages. The preliminaries, which just finished, and the finals. And you can look out on our social media at Halls of Learning for the announcements of the results that have followed. And it was from K2 to grade 12.
Okay. So all the way through.
Yeah, all the way through. We're trying to target.
Okay. So Professor Boxill, there's a lot happening. I'm so happy UWI has been able to participate, to facilitate today. Thank you so much. I know that we want way more of our students to access tertiary, and this is a good opportunity for them to at least get the look and feel of tertiary, to be here in this environment today. So thank you so much for facilitating all of this. Thank you to the presenters. Thank you for
very much for
raising the
coming in,
interest
sir.
level of our students in the STEAM subjects. All right.
Thank you so much, Minister Williams and team. And I'm sure maybe Minister wants to take a little photo up with the team from Halls of Learning. And right now, we're going to be turning our attention to the panel discussion. We do have some exciting experts who are going to be sharing with us this morning. And so I want you to turn your attention to Mr. Matthew Ferguson, who is my able co-host, who will be carrying the mantle from here on out. So Matthew, it's over to you.
Hey, thank you, Ruth. Everybody excited today? Say steam. Steam. Ruth, I know you're having all the fun over there, and I wish I was over there to, probably challenge the minister to see who has the best skills in terms of controlling the robots. Next time. All right, but right now we have a nice, exciting, dynamic group of young people, with very interesting careers with titles that are too long for me to pronounce, but this is where we get to have some information and some insight onto what it takes to have some very dynamic careers in the field of STEAM, and we want to get some tidbits and some information from these young people about what it takes to be in this field, why they chose it, what motivates them, and how they plan to use it to build their careers going forward. So, to my left, I have Savannah, Matthew, yes, another Matthew, and of course I have Naomi. Hi, guys. All right, how are you doing? Good. So what I want to have happen now is that I'm going to ask you to introduce yourselves, tell everybody, what your career is, your age, and of course, why. So I'm going to start with Savannah. Can we hear Savannah?
Hi, everyone. Morning.
All right, Savannah.
So good morning, everyone. I am Savannah Grant. I'm currently working as a data analyst at BI Brains Caribbean. I recently graduated from UE, studied actuarial science, and made the shift into the field of data. And I'm just excited to speak with everyone today. Hopefully I can answer some questions for you and introduce you to some new information, spark some new passions, and I'm excited for the panel. Let's go.
Okay, Savannah. All right. Matthew?
Hey.
Who are you?
So my name is Matthew Stone. I'm an AI researcher and machine learning engineer. So my job is essentially to push the frontier in terms of knowledge in the field of artificial intelligence. AI is all about creating machines, whether it's software or hardware machines, that can do tasks that normally would require human intervention. So whether that's creating self-driving cars or maybe drones that can deliver your packages. So yeah, we basically work on the cool stuff.
Anybody here watch Terminator? Show of hands. Anybody who know Terminator? Anybody know Siri or Alexa? Okay. I mean, that's a field that Matthew works in. Okay. All right, Naomi, tell us about yourself.
Hi, good morning, everybody. So my name is Naomi Benjamin. I'm 21. I am currently in the field of quality assurance engineering, which is like some branch of software engineering. What else are we supposed to say?
Okay, just tell us, you just told us who you are and the field that you're in. And of course, you can just share just a quick tidbit about what that's about.
Oh, okay, so I'll speak more on software engineering. So essentially, it is the creation, the whole development of software as it goes through what we call the software development life cycle, where you speak what the software is supposed to do all the way down to actually deploying that software. Why I like to get into this? I mean, I like solving problems, and I like helping the people who are solving the problems to solve the problems. So that's essentially a big part of software engineering. So, yeah.
All right, thanks, Naomi. So we have an actuary who, well, she's an actuary at heart, but she's a data analyst, so she analyzes data. We're going to find out more what that means. We have somebody who has a passion for artificial intelligence, and we have a software engineer. So this is where you can actually get some information on what it takes to be in that field. So get your questions ready, because they're more than ready and able and willing to answer them. Right, guys?
Yes. Yes.
All right, so firstly, Savannah, data analysis, and I'm looking at this to say, okay, you know, you analyze data and you're a data researcher. What role does math play in that field?
Okay, so math plays a very important role, but when you think of it, you can't think of just math as in addition, subtraction, calculus, linear algebra. You have to think of it in terms of problem solving. So the more math you do, the more analytical you start to think, the more of an analytical mindset you have. So you're able to look at things, you're able to infer some insights, you're seeing data, you're seeing numbers, and it's presented to you, but you're able to see into the future. Like you can see a trend, you're able to predict things. So me studying math or you studying math, that would be the biggest takeaway. And right now you'd be at a more basic level of math, but as you get older, you'll be introduced to more complex things like statistics. So it's just building on what you already know to get to that point where you're at that problem-solving mindset.
Problem solving.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut in there because everybody, Savannah said she likes to solve problems. Do you remember how we put you on the spot and gave you some questions to answer? We're going to put Savannah on the spot. Savannah, 1,000 divided by 0.02.
No, thank you.
But Savannah is letting us know that having that kind of mind that analyzes, wants to solve problems, look at things differently, math plays a key role in her field. Now, Matthew, artificial intelligence, Siri, Alexa, okay, Terminator, all of these things, Skynet.
Yeah.
You have an interest in designing things that can take control of the future and put human beings out of business? Taking over the world, Matthew? That's what you're designing your things to do?
Yeah, I mean, there are more positive things to artificial intelligence. I know a lot of you guys hear AI, and the first thing you think is Terminator, robots taking over the world, you know, ending human civilization. But actually, a lot of the things that you guys, the conveniences that you guys enjoy right now, are due to artificial intelligence. So every time you go on, say, TikTok or Netflix, the reason why you guys are so addicted to it is because we have algorithms that are actually learning from your data and making predictions as to what movies you'd like, what videos on TikTok.
Is that the machine learning component?
Yeah, so a lot of what we call AI is really machine learning. So it's basically taking data. So that could be images, sounds, text, and basically making predictions from that. So yeah, that involves math. So, you know, the probability and the statistics you guys are learning in school, it's actually important. Don't think that math you're learning is useless. Linear algebra is actually a very core component in machine learning. So, yeah, take your math seriously.
Okay. So if you did not, let's say, like math, okay, you weren't good at math, could you still be in the field of artificial intelligence? Could you be a good AI developer?
So don't think you need to be like an expert at math or, you know, a genius level math person to be in the field of AI. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of courses and resources out there to make it very easy to get into the field. So you don't need to be some genius level math. In fact, the math that's actually being used, I would say it's nothing advanced. So it's not something that you could more or less learn if you really put your head to it. So yeah, you can definitely get into the field, even if you're not like.
I like the fact that you mentioned the resources, because we're going to get to that at the end. So Naomi. No, I saw Naomi's title. I saw Naomi's title before I actually met Naomi. And I was like, software engineer. Software engineer. Naomi, how important is math to being able to design software?
Okay, so it's actually more important than people might first perceive. Especially in going into university, a lot of people actually do computing to run away from math and then end up getting slapped in the face with a lot of math. So for instance, with software engineering, we do a lot of what is called modeling, which is perceiving a system that you want to develop and then building an abstraction about it. And we tend to use a lot of either formal methods, depending on what it is. That's a lot of, or of advanced math. Like you wouldn't really be learning anything about that like at the high school level. And then there's other things that you might know now, which would be like graphs. Yeah, you guys would be working with graphs. And quite a bit of other things, but it's very integral, especially in your understanding. When you get into the work world, you might find yourself using a lot less and less and less of it, depending on what you're going into. But in the initial understanding of the different concepts about software engineering, math is actually pretty integral in your understanding. I mean, there's a whole course called discrete math that we have to go through. So
for somebody like me who can't really do math without a calculator, what advice would you have for me?
Okay, so as I said, as you get into the work world, you probably use less and less math, but you're going to have to tough it out while you're in university. You're just going to have to tough it out at that point. But once you get into the work world, I mean, there's things to do the math for you. So you get to that point, but in the initial understanding, they're going to make sure that you know what the computer is doing, essentially. You can't just be going blindly, or you shouldn't. So, yeah.
Okay, so a question for all of you here, and I won't pinpoint anybody to answer first. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to jump at it. How do you plan to use your knowledge and your skills to help to advance your individual industries? AI, software analysis, software engineering. Should I pick on Savannah? No? Savannah looks ready? No? All right, so I'm going to start with Matthew. How do you plan to use your skills in that area to help to develop the field of AI in Jamaica? Where do you see AI going in Jamaica?
Yeah, so, I mean, there are a lot of applications that, AI can definitely help with Jamaica. So, for example, I guess I'll mention something that I'm even working on. So, Jamaica always has a crime problem, and we still have a crime problem. So, something that I'm working on involves the use of autonomous drones. So, just imagine, having these drones that are, basically constantly flying around, providing security for everyone. Yeah, and there are other, areas that AI could also help. So, for example, healthcare, helping to predict diagnosis. Yeah, there are several areas that AI definitely in Jamaica I can see where it can help.
Okay, thanks, Matthew. I don't want to pick on anybody. Sabina, I see Savannah looking at Naomi like who should go first. All right, Savannah.
I'll jump in here. So in terms of math and how it's going to contribute to the future and then data analytics in Jamaica, basically because I work with a client company, we work for a lot of different companies in Jamaica. And what I learned is that there are 3 different stages of reporting. You have where you're looking at the past, so you're saying, okay, last year we made this much. You're looking at the present, so you're saying each week this is how much we're making.
Wait, let me cut right in. Everybody, I want you to understand. So Savannah uses numbers and predicts behavior. Savannah should be able to tell us our own futures right here based on data that she has from us. So every keystroke, every website you use, your social media, Savannah is one of those people that can actually take that information and use that to guide or predict what your behavior will be. Am I right, Savannah?
I will not make that promise, but that goes into my next point. So the 3rd stage would be looking to the future. So our goal is a data analyst role or anyone in the data field is to get people, especially non-technical people, to be able to look into the future, want to predict the future, and that's where most of the math would come in. So like if you're doing physics now or even basic math, like what Naomi mentioned, doing graphs is just the basic term for trends. You're looking at something over time. So yes, you have the data for the past and the present, but with more math, as you get more advanced, you'll be able to use that data or information to predict the future. And once you're able to predict the future, all the decisions in the present would be much better. So that's the goal, to make data-driven decisions. Yeah.
Improve the data, the decision making for us to make more informed decisions.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that you spend a lot of time in Google Analytics and looking through all that kind of data, and you must love graphs and charts.
Yeah.
You must get excited when you see them. So where do you see the field of data analysis going in Jamaica? Are there a lot of you? Do you have a special club where you can, all you can come together and work toward developing the country?
Okay, so data analytics, thankfully, is one of those very broad fields that you don't need a specific degree to get into. So most of the people now, they'd be coming from a quantitative degree, so numbers-based, like actuarial science, mathematics, computer science, because that's the easiest route. But you can do something from even biology and get into the field. And moving to the future now, I see it going towards more data science. So data science and data analytics go hand in hand. Yeah. So in the future, I see it being more technical, more people entering the field, because now I know a lot of companies, they're currently building their data field because it's a fairly new field to be in. So right now in Jamaica, you have more data analysts, and a lot of banks specifically, they're building a lot of data analyst groups or departments, but going forward, I see them moving towards data science, so more advanced analytics.
Okay. You're left, Naomi. So tell us, where do you see the field of software engineering going in Jamaica? Are there any special projects that you want to tell us about? Anything that you may be working on, anything secretive? What's happening? How do you plan to use your skills to develop that industry in Jamaica?
Well, so, it might be true right across the board, but software engineering in general is a very unsaturated field in Jamaica right now. Like, there are a lot. Like, if you go on any job hunting site right now, there's so many people looking for software engineers, computer scientists, data analysts. Like, it's crazy. So it's really unsaturated, and I know most of it is that people are afraid. Some people just see either the math or the technology and automatically in their head, oh my God, it's so hard. So I'd really like people to get to the point where they realize, everything has some hard components to it, but there's a means to an end. So you tough out the hard part of it, and then you get to the part where you're having all this fun, problem solving, creating things, seeing things come to fruition. It's amazing.
You like to create?
Yeah. Very much. And I like when the things you create work and solve people's problems. So where I see the field going, as more people get into it, there's software that has been developed by Jamaicans, and sometimes you can probably say it's not to the standard that we'd all like it to be. You can even look at the applications and the web applications that we might have to interface with. Sometimes they're horrible. And we all don't really like to use them, whether for performance issues because they're always crashing or just because it's so hard to use them. Software engineering takes into consideration all of those things. So the more of us that populate that field is the more likely that software coming out of Jamaica, applications, web applications coming out of Jamaica are at a greater standard. And of course there's also the opportunities for us to get training in Jamaica and then work in Jamaica for companies overseas. That's a whole other thing. So, I don't know. I don't know why people don't want to do this.
Because, the perception is that it's hard.
Yeah, which is true. That is the perception. But for a field like this, there's so many different resources, as Matthew would have said, online. Like, starting from the absolute basics, like treating you like you don't know anything, up to a very advanced level. So if you really wanted to get into it, they're starting kids off in doing stuff like this. So if you really, really wanted to get into it, it was really easy, and it's easy to get help and it's easy to get assistance, because this is a field that you can jump into at almost any age and reach somewhere, to be very honest.
All right, thanks, Naomi. I have something for each of you to think about now. So I am at home, I'm watching this conversation, listening, and I want to know, how do I get started in any of these areas? Data analytics, software engineering, artificial intelligence. What do I need to get started? I'm going to start with Matthew.
All right, so for AI, I would say there are a lot of resources online. So YouTube.
YouTube?
Yeah, so there are a lot of channels. So I would recommend, there's a channel called 2 Minute Papers. He basically, anytime there's some new AI research that's out, He basically walks you through the paper, explains, what the results were like and exactly what happened in the experiment. There are other channels like 3 Blue 1 Brown, which basically goes through like all the math behind AI. And I can't really think of all of them off the top of my head, but there are a bunch of resources on YouTube for sure. I guess I'll also mention I started a group called the Jamaica Artificial Intelligence Association. So I guess I'll share the information, with the relevant people so you can get it out to you guys. But essentially the group is all about bringing together, people who are interested in AI, and we sort of help them to get into the field of AI. So point them to the right resources. And if they have any questions, we'll help them with, with those questions. So I would definitely say if you can join some sort of community, which is the whole point of me creating that community, it can definitely help you steer you into the right directions. But generally, YouTube, books, so there are a bunch of books online. There are a bunch of course sites like Coursera, Udemy. So like guys, there are a whole lot of resources, so there's really no excuse nowadays to learn anything. There are a whole bunch of resources out there that you can learn anything. Just even a simple Google search can really start you off. And if you have any questions, that's where like reaching out to people in the online community can help. So you can also, I would recommend following, researchers on Twitter. So there are researchers like Jan LeCun, Andrew Ang. So following these researchers on Twitter can help you with getting new resources. So you have sites like Reddit that can also help as well.
All right, thanks, Matthew. And in our conversation before this, Savannah was sharing with me a little tip about what she did on LinkedIn. We'll get to that in a bit, but tell me, how do I get started? How do I get started in this field to building an interest and a desire to wanting to get into the field? What are some of the things I can do? As Matthew was talking, Matthew mentioned a few of the resources on YouTube. What would you recommend?
Okay, so I would recommend research. At the level that you're at now, you're not necessarily going to know about, you don't just want information like how can I improve my skills. You're not at that level yet. I would say to start out with a holistic view, like YouTube channels that have like day in the life of a data analyst, how much does a data analyst make, what does a typical day look like, what are the tasks that they'd have.
Can I cut in there, Savannah? You just asked a very interesting question. How much does a data analyst make on average?
On average, so I can only speak on entry level, so based on the people who I've graduated with so far, an average analyst, because data analysts can come under different titles, data analyst, financial analyst, overall is an analyst, so I would say anywhere between 180 to about 250 per month right out of university. And also pro tip, you might not remember it now.
Sorry, I needed to slow down when you said that figure. Just say it again. Huh? You have to let it simmer. So go on again, start again. How much?
Anywhere between 180 to 250 per month. That's what I'd say right now at this moment.
$180?
180,000 Jamaican dollars.
To 200?
To 250, yeah. Just off the bat, like entry level. Also, it would depend on the job description, how technical it is, that the job that you're going into and what your organization is expecting. So I'd say anywhere between 180,000 to 250,000.
And that's entry level?
Pardon?
That's just after your university?
Yeah, right, coming out. But when you're applying to a job, most times they're going to ask you, what are you looking for? So pro tip, always quote it in a yearly salary. Don't ask for it for monthly, because it's no longer a summer job, and at that time you'll be a big person. Big people quote in yearly salary. So go and say, I want 2.4 mil for the year. I want 3.6 mil for the year. So that's just
that's the kind of math you like. That's the kind of math you like.
Yes, of course.
That's the kind of math you really like. Okay, and I wanted to really get some insight. What were some of your favorite subjects in school, Naomi?
In school, in high school, of course, IT and computer science were at the top of my list. normal math, like not, I had to do add math and pure math. They weren't at the top of my list, but they were somewhere there. But my absolute favorite would have really been the IT and the computer science, really getting into what exactly I wanted to do. So I'm actually trying to remember what other subjects I did. Yeah, I'm really not remembering.
Just those though, okay. Matthew, what were some of your favorite subjects in high school?
My favorite subject was actually physics. Love, even to this day, I would say my favorite subject is physics. I love physics, everything about it. You know, I mean, it's really just the science of the universe. Yeah, I mean, I like generally solving problems, creating things. So yeah, I guess that's where my love for computer science developed. It really spawned from me, like, in high school. That's around the time that Flappy Bird came out. So I was like, you know, can I make something like this? So I literally all I did was just go on Google. I typed how to make a game, and it literally spawned from there. So which is why I said, like, don't think that, you know, these great things that you see are impossible or you can't do it. Like, a simple Google search can literally start you off. And that's what I did, and that's how I got into creating software and just, you know, creating things in general. Literally just, yeah, use the internet.
All right, Savannah, what are some of your favorite subjects?
So it would be math, yes. Okay, I
Definitely
wasn't
math.
the best at math, but it was my favorite subject because I love problem solving. But other than that, I'd say like sociology, art. I know that you guys aren't the art people, but my main thing would be math.
So tell me, I heard Matthew say something just now. And Matthew mentioned, you know, doing research and going online. Are you saying that in addition to to your high school days, you were actually learning outside of high school? So a lot of the knowledge that you got about the field, like you learned it independently, you went on your own and you did your own research? All right, this may sound foolish, but why?
What?
Yeah, I think this is a very important point. Like, don't think that the knowledge that you learn in school is everything that you need to know. In fact, I'd say it's probably 10% of what you need to know. Like, most of what you're going to need to succeed in the world is online. So you're going to have to, on your own, do your own reading, do your own research. You have to have that perseverance to actually learn things on your own. So please do not depend on your teachers to really succeed in whichever field you want to succeed in. You have to really take responsibility for your own knowledge and skills and really try to learn it on your own. And if you have friends that have similar interests, work with them. Like, start communities, reach out to different communities. There are several here in Jamaica. And, really try to improve on your skills. But yeah, it's very important that you try to learn skills in your own time.
I wanted to underscore that because it tells you that everything, even though your teachers are there to guide you, if you have your own passion, you have to do your own research, check online. You live in an information age. A lot of information is there online. And sometimes you'll be researching for jobs that don't even exist right now but may exist in another 5, 10, 15 years. Naomi, tough one for you. What are some of the key concepts from math that you apply on a day-to-day basis in your field?
Okay, I'm actually really thinking. Right now I'm working as a QA. Key concepts from math. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is a pure math concept.
But you said QA. What is QA?
Oh, a QA is a it's QAE, it's a quality assurance engineer, and that's somebody who is basically a gatekeeper for any applications or systems that are being developed wherever they are, that they make sure that the application is at the quality that it should be at the highest quality that we can possibly attain for that software or that system.
Okay, so what are some of the key concepts from math?
So in QA, there's really not that much math, especially, and it might depend on what system you are developing, but there isn't that much math. But I can tell you that even based on some courses and some reading, that the concept of permutations and combinations is it's a good mindset to have. As I said, that's a pure math concept, so I'm not sure how many of you guys are doing pure math. But basically, it's thinking about how many different sets of actions or different sets of items or elements that we can group together to get different outcomes, inputs, outputs, kind of like that. So having that kind of mindset, say, okay, if I put 1 and 2 into the system, I should get this. But what happens if I do 1 and 3 and 1 and that and then 2 and this and keep going like that? So that's a concept that in QA I would use a lot. And it helps quite a bit in you generating your test cases. So, yeah.
Okay, thanks. What are some of the key concepts from math?
Yes, so as I said, my field
of AI,
artificial intelligence, and machine learning is all about using data to make predictions. And what it really means is, we're using this data and then essentially, using different probabilistic models to make predictions from that data. So probability is very key. Statistics, very key. Linear algebra. So, when you guys at school and you're learning about matrices and you're doing your dot products, and you're probably saying, why am I learning this, or this is useless.
And I'm having a headache just hearing matrices.
Yeah, like, see, just even you, what if I told you, like, self-driving cars or, you talking to Siri, all of that is literally the foundation for all of that comes from those simple dot products and matrices. Like, so the math that you're learning in school right now is actually useful. You might not be using it practically, so you might think it's useless, but it's actually quite useful. So even a simple equation as the equation for a straight line, y equal mx plus c. So you guys probably have learned that in math. That too is literally the foundation for machine learning. So yeah, I would say probability statistics and also some calculus. So I don't know how much of you guys have started learning calculus, but if you did pure math, simple derivatives, quite important as well.
I have a special math question for you. See, because you listed out all of those, I have a speed time velocity question for you. Savannah?
Okay, so the key areas in math that I use in data analytics would be, first, simply from primary school, sets. So sets, when you grow older, will turn into distribution. Every company needs to know, like, the distribution of their clients, the distribution of their workforce, how many males versus females, the age groups, and so on and so forth, because they need to know who to target, who the target audience is, and if they're reaching it. So even a simple concept like sets, that comes forth into data analytics. And then the second thing would be trends. That's the word that everybody's throwing around. Everybody wants to see, what's the trend of my sales, what's the trend of this and that. And what you'd know now would be rate of change. So you see that in like math and physics when you're doing your graphs. So rate of change would come forth in trends. So trends analytics would be like looking at your past data and your current data and mapping everything on one graph, and then that would in turn lead to the predictions of the future data.
Does that apply to when I go to YouTube and I'll say number 1 trending, number 2 trending, or I go to Twitter? Is that kind of math is what they use to get those results for me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now, in STEAM, which is, all right, I'm just going to pick on Naomi randomly. What's the S in STEAM?
Science.
What's the T?
Technology.
What's the E?
Engineering.
Okay, and I will say arts, and then back to you.
Math.
Good. Of all those letters, okay, of all those letters, which is your least favorite?
I have to say art. And it's not because I don't like art. Don't get me wrong. But it's not the one that piques my interest the most. So I would have to say art.
And which one piques your interest the most?
It would be the technology.
The technology, okay. All right. Matthew?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the art too. Not that it's my least or that I don't like art. Probably it's the one I'm not so good at. Although I will say, generally, being creative in any of these fields is quite important. In terms of my favorite, yeah, technology.
Yeah. Okay. Savannah.
My least favorite would be science, specifically natural sciences like biology, chemistry, physics, not my forte. My favorite would be, I don't want to be cliche and say math, so I'd say art. I love art.
Art.
Yes,
Because I found that-
animation, drawings, everything.
Because you find that most people who are into the sciences and math tend not to like art like Naomi and Matthew. You know, but I'm assuming no, because what the blend of all these letters makes for a perfect combination, because if Naomi designs the system or Matthew designs the system, then of course Savannah can ensure that the creative components fit what an end user, what you might want to use. So when they're designing Instagram or Facebook or Netflix, you know, you have the math people like Matthew and Naomi on the back end, but then you may have Savannah on the front end ensuring that the user interface looks nice and pretty and clean and modern, right? Oh, that's more Naomi than you?
No, so data analytics is actually front end and back end.
Okay.
It's because all these reports and trends and distributions that I spoke about, we are past the stage of presenting it in the form of a table. Everyone is tired of Excel now, so now we're on dashboards and reports. So that has the math aspect because you're in the back end getting all the data, cleaning it and building these reports and insights, but you're presenting it to someone that isn't versed in mathematics. They're not a technical person. So that's where the art and the creative aspect comes into play, because you have to be able to communicate that data in a way that's attractive and digestible for someone that does not necessarily understand statistics and machine learning and the more technical side of it. Yeah.
And as we wrap up, I want to know, what are some of the key attributes to be successful in your field? I'm going to start with Savannah, then Matthew, then Naomi. All right? So what are some of the key attributes
Okay, so
to be successful in your field? Yes.
Would be the ability to take criticism and communication skills, and they go hand in hand. Because as I said before, as a data analyst, you're at the back end and the front end. More times than not, you're the one presenting it to the other departments in your company, to the sales team, to the marketing team. And you can't go to them and say, hey guys, I took the trend of this and I did a derivative and whatever. So communication comes into play there. You have to be able to know how to speak up, convey the information so they know that it's actually useful, so that the decision makers know that what I'm presenting to you is valuable and you need to use this to drive your decision making. And also, you need to be able to take criticism, because you're not the one in charge per se. They ask, how it works is they put in a request and you build a model, you build a report or a dashboard, and sometimes they're not going to like how it looks. It might be something as simple as that. They can call it ugly or outdated. You need to be able to not be offended, but go back to the drawing board and be able to improve it and to satisfy their needs. And also on the other end, you need to be able to speak up and say, hey, what you want isn't possible, because not every time, sometimes they have a request and their data can't fulfill that request. So it's both.
To manage the expectations.
Yeah.
All right, Matthew. So what are some of the key attributes to be successful in the field of artificial intelligence? I mean, we have students from Alpha here, we have students from Greater Portmore High, we have students from JC here, we have a variety of secondary level students, and we have some primary level students here as well. What would I need to have and to hone to get into your field and to be successful at it?
Yeah, I think many words come to mind, but the one word that I would say that is required for success in any of these fields is perseverance. Like, I don't think you know how much times I've worked on projects, done experiments, worked very long hours, all for it to fail. And that happens a lot. And this is something you're going to have to live with and expect. You have to be okay with failure. I don't see it as a bad thing. It's actually a good thing because when you fail, it's a learning experience. You learn how not to do something so you can do it better the next time. So I would say definitely you have to have perseverance. You're going to have many projects that you spend long hours on and you try everything and like nothing seems to be working. But it's literally that last step, that last push is usually what gets you over the finish line. So I would say you have to have perseverance, like never give up. And I would say also, don't be afraid to try the hard things, the difficult things, the things that people look at and say, that's not gonna work or that's impossible. You know, why try to learn about self-driving cars in Jamaica? You know, people say, you know, that will never be in Jamaica, or like, you know, why do that in Jamaica, or why learn about autonomous drones? Like, you can't, you know, let other people's limitations, you know, limit your vision. You have to dare to do the impossible. I would say, yeah, those two things: persevere and just dare to be different. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Matthew. Naomi.
Okay, so I have to reiterate what they said because actually pretty good points for across all three of the fields represented here. But as a software engineer who is actually very introverted and doesn't really do well talking to people, so this is like a big thing.
You're up here.
Right? You have to talk to a lot of people, especially as a software engineer. You are expected to function at a different level than a computer scientist because most times they're in the back end doing all the coding. And I mean, software engineers do code, but you have to interface with the business a lot. So you have to be able to convey both ways, information both ways, to the developers and to the business. You have to take what they're saying and make it make sense to the developers and vice versa. So a lot of people skills, communication skills is really, really important. And honorable mention as a QA, you have to have a backbone. If you're functioning as a gatekeeper to something, there's people that are going to want to just pass the test, no man. Just like, you have to have a backbone, and you have to know that no, you need something to be at a specific quality, and so you have to be able to stand up in your right to say, nah, that's not okay, and push it like that. And I mean all across the board, because there's even a whole thing where systems failing can be catastrophic. So you have to make sure that you have a good moral compass, you have good communication skills, you have a perseverance, but you also have that backbone to make sure that you're not letting certain things happen, especially under your watch.
All right, thank you, Naomi. Do we have any future artificial intelligence engineers out there? Show of hands. Anybody who wants to get into artificial intelligence? All right, no artificial intelligence engineers out there. Do we have anybody that wants to get into data analytics? Data, okay, I see one hand there. Anybody that wants to get into software development? 1, 2, 3. I like the fact that I'm seeing, okay, I see a few girls. Okay, lovely. Does anybody want to get into the general field of IT? IT, software development, engineering, robotics. Where are those people? All right, so what I want you to do now is ensure that you make a connection with Naomi, Savannah, Matthew before you leave here. I'm assuming that, you know, each of your social medias, you know, have stuff relating to these things that people can reach out and find more information on data analytics, AI, and software engineering, Naomi. All right, good. So ensure that you make a connection with them, reach out to them, and of course do your own research. So in recap, realize that a lot of what they learned on their outside of the classroom. They learned on their own. They went and did research to look to see what was needed in the field, and want you to do the same. So we want to ensure that everybody has information. So thank you, Savannah. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Naomi. And it was my pleasure to have this discussion with you. And I'm looking forward to big things. Matthew, I don't want to see any drones over my head when I'm at home. All right? But if you want to set up a drone food delivery system, I'm here for it. Okay? Savannah is going to be predicting the future, looking at my behavior now to predict what I'm going to do next. Kind of scary. Kind of scary.
It's useful.
And of course, Naomi's ensuring that every software that is developed meets quality standards. So she finds the bugs, sends it back, or tells persons to go back to the drawing board and fix it so that it is fit for purpose. Thank you, guys. Great conversation. I now hand back over to Ruth.
Thank you so much, Matthew. Let's put our hands together for the awesome, awesome panelists. Savannah Grant, data analyst, Naomi Benjamin, software engineer, and Matthew Stone, who is the AI researcher. Indeed, can you imagine? We have come to the end of our career, STEM career forum. All right, don't ball. But before we go, I have to say thanks definitely to the Honorable Minister of Education and Youth, Minister Favor Williams, for bringing greetings, Dr. Tamika Benjamin for also bringing greetings on behalf of the Ministry of Education and Youth. I have to also big up Dr. Kassan Troop, who was in the house today. That's our Chief Education Officer, who would have, stepped in briefly. And I want to thank the exhibitors, the JC Robotics Club. Let's put our hands together for them. Right, the Northern Caribbean University and the Halls of Learning. Big up yourself. And I also want to thank my awesome audience of students and teachers. Hello, please, yes? Big up on yourself. And of course, I could not end this forum without extending my gratitude to Miss Antoinette Aiken, who is our sign language interpreter. And last but certainly not least at all, I want to big up the mathematics team from the Ministry of Education and Youth for putting on such an exceptional career forum. Come on, load it up. Yeah. And of course, the communications unit who are on the ground just extending support. Big up to the communication team from the Ministry of Education and Youth. And my able co-host, Matthew Ferguson. Can we put our hands together for Matthew? And so we have now come to the end of our STEM Career Forum. So I want to thank you, viewers online, and for those who are here joining us, thank you so much, and see you next year at the Mathematics Week when we will do it bigger and better. Pleasant viewing. Thank you so much.